guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to be trying to make some improvements to my little Eastwood bead roller. So this is my Eastwood bead roller. It's got a capacity, I think, of allegedly 19 inches. Yep, 19 inches. I use it for some of my floor pans on the hot rod, and now I've got another project with it. And from the first one, I learned there is some definite drawbacks to this machine. It does a pretty good job at what it's supposed to do, rolling beads. The big issue is the hand crank. So basically, you'll get to dead spots while you're trying to roll it, where you can't really start it going as easy as you'd like. So it kind of ends up being herky-jerky. They do sell a new crank for this that's basically just a four-arm crank, so you've always got something to turn easily. And actually in the instructions, I think they tell you to have a second person turn the crank, but you know, there's not always a second person. And their crank is sold out, is out of stock. I think it said it's out for at least a few weeks. So I am going to attempt to basically make a similar option. I'm going to do that with what I've got laying around. So what that is the old harmonic balancer off of my MGB and a flex plate that came off of the engine for the hot rod. So that currently has a manual transmission. I don't need a flex plate. And if I did need to replace this, these are cheap anyway. Basically, the plan is pull the crank off. So originally the plan was to make some sort of adapter that would go onto here that would let me bolt this guy on. And I was going to do that of like a big chunk of steel or something and turn it on the lathe at work. But then I was just kind of scrounging around the shop, seeing what I had, and I've got this guy. So this is the balancer off the MGB, and I was going to basically just slip that on there and weld it to the crank pulley. The one issue is that it's a little bit too big, but this is the closest thing I found. If I really need to, I can just machine a little spacer that goes in between there. But basically for now, I'll put it on there. It'll be a little bit offset, but it'll let me have a big continuous wheel to turn when I want to turn this. But once I put assuming I've got this centered on here properly, once I've got a spacer machine for it, then I can think about maybe making some sort of motorized attachment or whatnot. That way I can drive it with an electric motor. But that's far down the road. I just need a quick and dirty way of rolling sheet metal with a continuous hand wheel. So just that for now. But yeah, so we're going to start by doing some slight modification to this crank pulley. Basically, what we're going to do, clamp that in the vise. First things first, we want to put a flat on here. I'm happy this isn't hardened or anything. I could use my grinder, I suppose, but files work really well too. So just a couple licks there, and we've got a nice flat spot. Next step, take a center punch and a hammer. Center line. And now I'm just going to drill that out. Now let's drill bits in nowadays. Also, safety glasses are important. This is really just going to be a pilot hole. Now, that should be enough to get it started. Now, I'm going to find somewhere in here, I've got some of those fancy taps. This guy is a tap. It'll do a quarter 20. I think is about what I need. So that goes in an impact, and I'm going to use my extension. That's how it's going to fit. Safety glasses back on. Beautiful. Now I've got a nice little quarter 20 hole, and I can use that with a set screw. Alrighty then, couldn't find my actual set screws, so here's just a quarter 20 bolt. It should do the job. So yeah, next step is basically we're going to clean this up with the grinder and basically just weld this onto there. So as simple as that. And if any of you guys are wondering why I replaced this balancer, it's because of this big old chip that was missing out of it. I didn't do that. You can tell from the fact there's rust deep in there. But that's how I got it. It doesn't sit quite true, so I didn't like that, so I bought a new one. Alright, so let's hope that welding this actually works. I don't know what this is. It might even be cast iron. But if it doesn't weld, we'll just drill and tap some holes. But basically, I am going to try my best to get that centered in there. That looks pretty good to me. So, that's got a smell to it. It is because the balancer does usually have rubber in it, so probably burning a little bit of that. Alright. Simple as that. Alrighty then, so let's attach this guy and see how it works. It would help if I have the right size wrench. Alright, that's a wheel attached. Now let's see if I have some sheet metal I can roll. All right. Not terrible. Yeah, not bad. Obviously, this needs to be bolted down to the table for max effect, but yeah, I like it. I have a wheel. So in the future, like I said, I'll probably make a little bushing to center this a little bit better. But then because I've got a toothed wheel, I can use some sort of motor situation, probably something cannibalize a starter motor for the drive gear, maybe hook it up to like a windshield wiper motor or something. I think that's what the guys at Bad Obsession Motorsport may have done on theirs. But, or somewhere else, I've heard of it being done. But yeah, so attach a flywheel or a flex plate to a bead roller, and then you've got a proper handle so you can turn it and not have to really worry about where that handle is. So I'm going to be using this for the next project. It is going to be related to the hot rod, but you'll see that when when I do it. All right, that's all for now. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. And I was going to basically make some sort of adapter that would let me bolt this flex plate to here. That way I've got a